just over a century after widespread human colonization began. The Terran Alliance's internal struggles caught up with it, and it finally succumbed to the ravages of corruption and civil war. The bloodshed ground on for months, but the charismatic Fleet Admiral James McKenna finally stepped in to force a military end to the conflict. Thus, in 2315, after disposing of the Alliance's failed political party system, McKenna issued the Hegemony Charter, officially bringing the Terran Alliance to an end and setting the stage for a new government known as the Terran Hegemony. Assuming the newly created position of Director General, he made a series of reforms that breathed new vigor into the cradle of mankind's birth, and under his leadership the new hegemony was soon able to reassert Terra's authority over former Alliance systems and beyond. At the same time, however, there were a number of states taking shape outside of Terran borders, growing steadily stronger and more complex. By the mid-2300s, 5 additional major states had formed from among the colonies, which in turn were led by a single powerful family, or house. The first of these large states was the Free Worlds League, led by House Merrick, founded in 2271. This was followed in 2317 by the Federated Sons of House Davion, and the conquest-oriented Draconis Combine of House Carida in 2319. The Capellan Confederation of House Liao was formed in 2366, and the last of them, the mercantile alliance known as the Lyran Commonwealth, in 2341, which eventually came under the steady hand of House Steiner. By the late 2300s, these 6 powerful states, the result of rapid human colonization, followed by pragmatic consolidation and association, each found that they had their own unique histories and agendas, and it was not long before their proximities and competing priorities brought major conflict. Disputes over territory and resources gave way to border wars, and the great houses built ever greater armies to wage them. The first major interstellar war began in 2398, when the Free Worlds League and Capellan Confederation went to war over the possession of the Endurian system. Similar wars soon broke out among the other powers as well, and it ushered in an era of history now known as the Age of War, which would last another 150 years. This period marked the first time in history that mankind engaged in war on this scale, and the death toll was beyond anything yet seen. After a particularly bloody battle on the world of Tintavel in the year 2412, involving nuclear weapons and massive civilian casualties, the Ares Conventions were drafted and signed by the 6 great houses and most of the lesser powers in the outer reaches of human space, which have become known as the Periphery. Though the Ares Conventions accomplished a great deal in terms of curbing the excesses of war, they had the unplanned effect of legitimizing war as a way to resolve even minor conflicts. And so the Age of War dragged on until the mid-2500s, leaving a legacy of bloodshed and bitterness and indecisive results. There were 2 additional legacies of the Age of War: the invention of the battlemech and the rise of the Terran hegemony as the foremost power in the inner sphere. When the Terran hegemony fielded the first battlemechs in the mid-2400s, it soon became clear to the entire inner sphere that a new age of military technology had dawned. Though drastically more expensive to manufacture and maintain, the battlemech quickly proved to be superior to conventional vehicles. In short, it was faster, better armed, more heavily armored, and far more versatile than any tank, truck, or hovercraft on the battlefield. Though the secret of the mech's design and manufacture was eventually stolen and propagated throughout the other 5 states within a matter of years, the Terran hegemony, whose worlds were typically the oldest and best developed, would stay at the forefront of this and other technologies to remain the most advanced and powerful realm in the inner sphere for many decades to come. This power, in turn, translated to great influence, and when, in the mid-2500s, the visionary Director General of the Terran Hegemony, Ian Cameron, began, one at a time, to draw the warring states together into a series of treaties and peace talks, the Age of War drew to a close. Finally, in 2571, after 2 decades of careful and often precarious diplomacy had paved the way, Cameron successfully formed the legendary Star League. Headed by House Cameron in the hereditary post of First Lord, and assisted by a High Council comprised of the 5 House Lords from each of the other major states, the Star League ushered in what most historians agree would become the zenith of human civilization.